catastrophic and unprecedented $12.5 billion loss for tourism. You heard me correctly. People are not coming for business travel. They are not coming for conventions. They are not coming here for vacation. They are not coming here because of the trade war, because we are now actually on a national human rights watch list. You heard me correctly. For the first time ever, the United States of America is a danger to human rights. States like Florida, California, Nevada, specifically Las Vegas, and other major tourist cities are going to suffer devastating consequences. Have you changed your plans to travel for work, personal, or business to the United States or in between states? This is going to be an economic disaster we may never recover.
In June, a group of New England governors and Canadian premiers will gather in Boston to discuss trade and strategize about solutions. Amid so much uncertainty over national trade policy, there is one way you can contribute. Support those local businesses that rely on tourism to stay afloat, particularly during the short summer season. Every dollar counts.
Sure, every dollar counts. But let's be honest, do local Americans really have enough spending power to replace the billions that Canadians and other international visitors bring in? The answer is pretty obvious. They don't. Tourism doesn't survive on domestic pride. It survives on real money. And right now, that money is going elsewhere.
A Minnesota senator is pushing for peace with Canada as Trump administration's tariffs take their toll. A reminder, Canada has a new prime minister. He's not mincing words when it comes to relations with the U.S. Here's a look from election night. A Minnesota senator is pushing for peace with Canada as Trump administration's tariffs take their toll. A reminder, Canada has a new prime minister. He's not mincing words when it comes to relations with the U.S. Here's a look from election night.
We are over the shock of the American betrayal, but we should never forget the lessons.
But you're going to take us forward.
We have to look out for ourselves.
Since that day, Prime Minister Mark Carney has visited President Trump at the White House. He's told the president Canada is not for sale. The 25% tariff on Canadian goods remains in place. So too does Canada's reciprocal tariff on the U.S. But Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar says the nation and Minnesota need to have a good relationship with Canada. She tells WCCO it's vital to the economy.
What we're seeing right now, particularly in northern Minnesota, we're seeing a 70% drop-off of canceled vacations across the country. We know right now we have an 18% decrease in the number of border crossings. The Canadians are mad, and they're showing it by saying, we're not going to spend money in America. That needs to change.
The Minnesota Democrat just met with Prime Minister Carney. She says he wants a good relationship with the U.S. She also says there's a bipartisan push to bridge the gap with Canada. Otherwise, the tourism season ahead could be tough for Minnesota hotels, restaurants, and shops that supply our neighbors to the north.
It's not that things could get tough. They will. U.S. media keeps downplaying the impact of the boycott. And sure, maybe that's their way of preventing panic. But the reality? It's starting to show, slowly, day by day. So what are we asking for? Respect. Start by getting Donald out of office. Not easy, but necessary. Treat Canada and other countries like true partners, not pawns. Drop the 51st state rhetoric. Stop the bullying. That would be a good start toward restoring some kind of normal. But let's be real, that's not likely to happen anytime soon. So what do? We keep pushing back. We don't take the disrespect quietly. We build stronger ties with Europe, the UK, Australia, Asia, with nations that value partnership. We stop relying on the US. Keep the boycott going. Stop crossing the border out of habit. Explore the world. Central America, Southeast Asia, where your dollar goes farther and your presence is appreciated. And whatever you do, don't ease up. If you found this video valuable, a like and subscribe helps get our message out and supports this growing community. Thanks to every one of you still watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Hello and welcome.
welcome to another video. And in this video we're going to be talking about tourism, how tourism went down in the last couple, I'm going to say 5 months, okay, since he took office because of the tariff. Okay, the tariff are just getting other countries to have resentment against the United States. And yes, they are not coming to visit us, and we are just losing a lot of international tourism. I live in a tourist area. I live in Las Vegas. Last time when we had the economic recession of the 2008, the only thing that saved us here in Vegas was the international tourism. Okay, the people from London, even when the locals were complaining because the people from European countries, they may don't have the culture of tipping like the American culture, but that keep Las Vegas alive. Okay, it was a lot of, the casinos started to do a lot of offers, okay, to bring like people from Canada, people from London, people from the Middle East, and they came and they stayed in their hotels. We was a recession in the 2008, and that kept Vegas afloat in that time. But with the pandemic, the Vegas completely closed, and now it's just Trump. This is another financial situation, and a lot of people here in Vegas, if I tell you the truth, they voted for Trump because he offered no taxes on tip and no taxes in overtime. That we know, according to the bill, how that come out in the end, that none of those offers or none of those promises were kept. And if they were kept, they were kept in a way that it didn't benefit the workers, because they just say, like, for example, no taxes on overtime, and if you pass the threshold, I don't know how to say that, but if you pass more than $100,000, then you have to pay the taxes in overtime. And for blue collar workers, it doesn't work, because they most of the time they just make 160 or 170,000 a year. The majority of them, not all of them, but the majority of them, they can make more than 100,000 easily in a year. The people that work in the mines, the people that work in the power plants, okay, it's all those type of workers that they do overtime. That doesn't work for them, because they're gonna make more than $100,000 anyways. Yes, and I guess in Vegas, I went this weekend. I confirmed myself. I wish that I have footage of it. I just didn't took the time to record the strip, but I felt a little empty. It wasn't completely empty. I was in the area of the Bellagio and the area and the Cosmopolitan. There is an area that is always like full, busy with people, but it felt really empty, the streets, because most of the time when you're just in Vegas and it's just a regular day, and that was the weekend, that was on Saturday. Yes, it was on Saturday. Most of the time when the Vegas is in full blow, like it is, you're just gonna be able to see that you barely can walk. But no, it was a space to walk on it, and it was a lot of, more than everything, it was like national tourism. People coming from California, some locals, they were there in Las Vegas Boulevard, but international tourism, like I see in here, like a lot of Japanese, a lot of Chinese, and you can tell that they are like Chinese coming from China. I don't know why, but you can recognize the ones that are like here and the ones that are over there. I didn't see none of those, okay, none of those international tourism. And you see also a lot of Europeans that you just see, like, you know, they are coming from other place to visit, and I think it's the way they dress is different than what the people that live here. And yes, it was none of those people in Las Vegas Boulevard. But just keep watching the video, because the video get really interesting. Please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow, and it helps other people to find my content and my video. And comment below, okay, what do you guys think? Do you live in a tourist area? Do you live in Florida? Do you live in any of those tourist areas where you just see the tourism decline? How's the economy on your town doing? Because I see like it's a lot of decline here, but maybe in other places it's not like that. And if you just went in vacation recently, do you see that there was a lot of decline? I'm even afraid to travel international at this point because I'm nationalized American citizen. So I just told him in the time that Donald Trump is here, I just told him I'm going to travel international for now until things can settle down. Please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to learn and helps other people to find my content and my videos. Thank you.
Hi folks, so this short report is a wow moment. It's currently May 2025, and so far this year, international tourism to the United States has fallen by 61%. This is mainly due to Trump's America First policies and growing concern over US immigration policies. Folks, this source comes from MSN and Travel Weekly. Let me know what you think in the comments.
While MAGA diehards keep chanting, "We don't care," every time someone points out the cost of Donald Trump's policies, international tourists are quietly delivering the one response that matters in Trump's America, which is they're not coming to the United States for vacations. We have new data now from the World Travel and Tourism Council. The U.S. is on track to lose over $12 billion in international travel spending this year. That's a decline of 7%. It's not because suddenly the sand on the beaches is no good. It's not because the theme parks got rid of everybody's favorite ride. It's because the rest of the world sees what the United States under Donald Trump has become: expensive, hostile, and unstable. And they're voting with their passports. Of the 184 countries surveyed, the U.S. is the only one with an absolute decline in international visitor spending. According to the WTC's CEO, quote, "The U.S. has firmly got a 'we're not open for business' sign right now." And that's correct. Germany has updated its travel advisory after several Germans were detained at the U.S. border. Canada, which used to be exempt from most of the short-term visa requirements, now has to register and submit fingerprints for any visit longer than 30 days. That's new under Donald Trump. You've got Canadian Airlines canceling routes due to declining demand. Vehicle traffic at land crossings is down significantly from Canada. So these are not anecdotes. This is an economic warning siren. The largest travel economy in the world is bleeding visitors. And MAGA's response is always, "So what? We don't want sissy Europeans and liberal Canadians coming here." Well, one of the things that you have to understand is that overseas visitors spend 7 to 8 times more than domestic tourists when they come to the United States. Canadian visitors spend 3 times more than Americans when Canadians vacation in the United States, and we're losing a bunch of them. So when conservatives and right-wingers brush this off as, oh, globalists are scared and liberals are whining, they are not understanding the math. This isn't about politics. It's about dollars. It's about cities losing tourism jobs. It's about entire regional economies built on foreign travel drying up. And you can't own the libs with a bankrupt hotel. That is what decline looks like, and it is completely self-inflicted because of Trump's policy of punish, restrict, and intimidate.
Question for people in other countries. Do you want to visit us anymore? Like, are we even...
So first off, I've got friends all over America, and the people living in a country are very different to a government and a system and a requirement of entry. So the United States is still one of the only countries left in the world that still has that requirement to get in. I believe this is being dropped in May, but it's still off-putting for people who are making decisions on where to go on holiday. So the millions of people from Europe, when they're making a decision that would have gone to America normally, are thinking, okay, do I go to Dubai? Do I go to Thailand? Or shall I go to America? America currently is one of the only countries in the world that requires this upon a condition of entry for foreign visitors on foreign passports. And the sad reality is that it just simply puts people off when they're booking a holiday. So the millions of visitors that have now gone elsewhere and spent their money elsewhere, it is because of that requirement on the way in. Regardless of your choice, whether you chose to do it or not, it's still off-putting. To all the Americans, I love you all, but guys, just blame your system.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media. These international flights have many tourists flying to the USA practically alone. Shauna Massengill flew from London to Chicago, Look, barely anyone on board.
It was really shocking. I've never been on a flight like that.
This flight from Toronto to New York is also practically empty. And a flight from Toronto to Fort Myers, row after row of empty seats. Here in California, international travel is predicted to decline by 9% this year, driven by higher tariffs imposed by the Trump administration and negative sentiment toward the U.S.
The drop in numbers of Europeans traveling to the U.S. is staggering, and depending on the country, it's down as much as 42% over last year. That's just Europeans not traveling to the U.S.
Here in New York, tourism is also being hit big time, once again driven by negative sentiment toward the USA.
This year, 400,000 fewer tourists.
Trump is tanking U.S. tourism, absolutely tanking it. There was a report out at the end of February saying, and this was from Tourism Economics, saying that instead of growing by 8.8%, tourism in the US was projected to decline by 5.1%. But that was in February, right? So much has happened since in terms of stories of tourists being maltreated that really is going to change the dynamics, I'm sure of it. I've got some stories here that I've written down about one French scientist, 3 Germans, a Canadian and a Brit, that I just want to take you through so that you understand what is happening here, because these are stories that are now going wild through the Western press, right? So first of all, the French scientist, this is probably the most recent story. He was denied entry to the US because he got there. They decided to search his phone and search his laptop. They found him having communicated sympathy with US scientists in terms of how Donald Trump has been treating the US science community, and decided that this was comparable to terrorism. And so he got turned around and sent back, okay? And French government has been complaining about that. But
if you are not a US citizen, don't come to this country. If you are here and you're not a US citizen, I don't care what kind of documentation you have, and I don't care how long you're staying, whether it's for a week or years, go. If you can go, go. And I know this is what they want, and I hate it because I love to be like, resist. But ending up in an ICE detention facility is not an act of resistance. And it does not matter if you are white passing. It does not matter how smart you are or what you're contributing, or if you're just visiting and you're a tourist. Don't. It's not safe here. We're not safe. They are detaining U.S. citizens. They are detaining tourists. There was a 28-year-old backpacker, a young woman, who is now in an ICE detention facility. It does not matter. If you're leaving and I can come with you, I would love that. Let me know how to do that. I have a master's degree and I'm a very nice person. I'll be very good to your country. But this ain't the place. Get out while you can. And do not send your kids here as foreign exchange students. Do not send them on a student visa. Do not think you're going to come over here and do some kind of medical residency or scientific research. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't marry somebody from here. Don't do it. We're not safe. We're not a good country. We're under authoritarian rule at this point. So, sorry about that. Fucking sucks. Bye.
There's been a steep drop off in international travel to the United States. It was down 12% last month, down even more from Western Europe. Why do you think that there are fewer people suddenly who want to travel to the United States?
Well, there could be a little, there's a little nationalism there, I guess, perhaps. It's not a big...
Let's now talk about the 3 Germans, all of whom have been detained by ICE. So firstly, there's Jessica, the tattoo artist, and that was a big story everywhere because she was kept for what? Over a month or something, including solitary detention, absolutely moved from place to place. Her friends and family utterly terrified before she finally got released. For what? For taking some tattoo kit through border. She was treated like that.
This is how it looks right now. Look at this. Look at this. Like absolutely nobody. Look at this. So, have you seen what's happening in Vegas? There's videos going viral right now showing that's a complete ghost town. Like, there's absolutely nobody out or vacationing there. And at almost every single hotel, employees are getting laid off, except for Aria and Bellagio, and you have hotels like Excalibur that fired employees and shut down their buffets. And there's rumors that executives either stepped down or resigned. And this is all after hotel fees, parking fees being raised twice. But yeah, this is how it looks right now. Look at this. Look at this.
We're in Vegas.
Like absolutely nobody.
This is
Look at
supposed
this.
to be the city that never sleeps, but
It's
there's
crazy.
like literally no one around here at all. And on our
It's just
all
a
of our
ghost
walks
town.
pretty much tonight, we've seen nobody. So I don't know. Is Vegas slowly dying out?
Wow. Now there's a bunch of speculations on why Vegas looks so dead, but I want to know why you guys think Vegas is dying. Because usually around this time, it is so busy.
Las Vegas breaking news that hasn't made the news yet. MGM Resorts just told all of their concierge employees across all of their properties, with the exception of Aria and Bellagio, that they are being laid off. This is a couple weeks after laying off the valet, doorman, and bellman at Excalibur and announcing the closure of the Luxor buffet. We know that travel and tourism is down. Aside from global issues and the Canadians boycotting us, many Americans fear that we are headed for a recession and they are tightening up their spending. But what's going on at MGM feels a little bit bigger than that. Multiple executives in recent months have resigned or are rumored to be considering resignation, with small downsizings and rumors of more occurring at multiple properties. This is after raising resort fees and parking fees twice in 2024. Fees keep going up and amenities are being scaled back. It feels like everyone's trying to be tight-lipped about this, but I think we need to talk about it. Are more layoffs coming? Is this a sign of the times? Let me know what you think and follow me for all the Vegas.
So I keep seeing videos of people coming to Vegas and saying Vegas is dead. If Vegas is dead, explain this line for T-Pain tonight.
So as we all know, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen the news about how Vegas is dying, specifically the tourist side of it. And obviously I'm not old enough to have had experience old Vegas, but by the sounds of it, from every person that I've talked to that's way older than me, it sounds amazing. It sounds immaculate. Everything was so cheap. But I am old enough to remember a little bit of it, you know, of it being way cheaper. I was in high school like 6-7 years ago, and I remember when a lot of people would come out of town to specifically have their bachelor parties, and all these other kind of things when they turned 21, because it was obviously cheaper. The hotels were cheaper, the food was cheaper, alcohol was cheaper. You could go to the ABC store and probably get, you know, a little drink for like, I don't know, $2.99. And now you go into the ABC store for a Buzzball and it's like $5.99. I don't know, just an example. Well, obviously everything's gonna be a little bit more expensive on the Strip or whatever, which is like kind of understandable, but back then it was way cheaper. And I think that's what Vegas needs to go back on. Cheaper hotel rooms, cheaper food, cheaper alcohol, because you're telling me, and I mean, if I didn't live in Nevada, I would not come to Vegas at all, unless like it was just like for like a work trip or something, family, whatever. Because I'm not about to spend $17.99 on a drink.
Also, y'all, Vegas is dead. Went there last weekend to celebrate my boyfriend's birthday. Completely dead. Trash. There was literally no one walking around. Everything was so expensive. We got our hotel for $6 a night. $6 a night. Beautiful hotel and casino. But there ain't nobody there. So where are y'all going? 30-year-olds. We just turned 30. Where are we going?
When capitalism no longer lets people feel escapism, that's when it starts to die. Vegas used to be like this capitalist bastion. Like, it is just a city that's made out of advertisements, and it's just is made to just push endorphins and serotonin into your body. Whether it's like gambling, drinking, you know, SW. And I remember going to Vegas for the first time when I was 23 years old. I was with my cousin and my brother. We did hotel roulette, so $20. We got a 5-star hotel for a night. They ended up being racist to us, so we ended up getting bottle service for free. And for like $100 between 3 people, we were able to just have this almost like capitalist catharsis.
Yes, and like what I was saying, the tourism in Vegas is just low. I just was reading an article in Las Vegas Review that they said the tourism in Vegas is down 10%. But for me, as I saw Las Vegas Boulevard, I don't think that it was a 10%. I think it was more like a 20-30% down of the tourism, because I saw that it was 220. Like in the Bellagio, there is the place that, you know, more people get together because of the fountains of the Bellagio. Sorry, most of the time you just cannot even walk. And if you're going to see the show, the Bellagio fountains, I'm gonna see if I can insert a picture of the Bellagio fountains in here, just in case that you just never been. When you just see the show, most of the time you just don't have a space to just go, you know, around the little wall that they have in there, like half a wall, for you can see the show. It was a lot of space in between, so I was really surprised that it was like that. But most of the time you cannot even see, you just like a bunch of people all accumulated there. And maybe it can be because we just recently had Memorial Day, and then when we pass big holidays, it goes down, the people and the tourism. But I don't think it was that because it was a weekend, it was a Saturday. It's just the policies of the Trumpy. They are not helping us. They are not helping us with the international tourism. But let's see how's Florida doing.
So this is what I'm talking about with some people, is you get rid of the undocumented workers. It's not that tourists are going to stop coming to Florida because they want to protest against the anti-immigration document thing. It's because the businesses literally will not be able to fucking open because they don't have the manning. There's places here that I know that there's literally 2 out of like every 10 people working there that are fucking documented. You put all these people out of work and send them home, whatever, they can't be employed. The businesses are gonna have to shut, so the tourists will stop coming when there's no place to fucking house them, there's no one to feed them. And Americans don't want to do these jobs is one aspect of it, but the other aspect is in places like the Florida Keys, the workforce that you would be saying are going to fill in for these immigrants that don't have the jobs anymore, the workforce is like 65 and rich. They're not going to fucking be making beds in hotels and shit. So it's really comical, the thought process that people have here is that these places are miraculously going to stay open and keep the economy going when there's nobody going to fucking work. Putin's still a bitch, so's the Ayatollah.
Hey folks, it's Joe from Georgia. Well, some more people are finding out that maybe they screwed up this past year in the election. And I'm going to talk about the state of Florida. As you know, you hadn't heard as much from Ron DeSantis lately because he's in trouble about maybe directing $10 million worth of money that wasn't his into his campaign accounts and all over the place. Oh, his wife is the one who's doing it though. But what Florida is finding out in voting for Donald Trump, they're seeing the largest decline in the price of homes in Florida in 13 years. There's more homes on the market than there have been in decades. Those prices are falling, and people are learning that a lot of folks, even though they liked Florida, they didn't want to come in the pretense of only supporting one man. The Canadians have left. We have a ton of folks that had retired there. They're moving to other states. And what's the funniest part is, Florida folks, there is a net positive people moving from Florida to the state of California, which has always been victimized by Ron DeSantis. But folks, the real estate market is in turmoil in Florida. So, and Florida's not used to that, folks. They're used to always growing. Well, Florida's economy and the real estate market is tanking.
And yes, and I do have family in Miami, and they're just telling me, oh, it's empty. It's a ghost town with the tourism. It's not even half of the people because they have in summer break. They just have a lot of kids from college. They go and they just spend their summer, you know, their spring break, sorry. And it just, my family told me, no, it's just empty. It's nobody here. It's a lot of people that is not coming here. And it seems like it's a trend in all the tourist areas. There's no international tourism. Okay, it seems like Orlando, Disneyland, Orlando, it's always full. but this time it's full too, but it seems like it's not that busy like it used to be. And yes, and we make it towards the end. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Donald Trump is ruining the tourism, for the international tourism for the United States? Do you think it's more like national tourism? The people is more traveling inside the country? Like I told you before, I am afraid to travel because I'm a nationalized American citizen, and I do have this channel. On the top of that, it is a lot of cases where they just decided not to let the people in because these people, they think that these people, they accuse them of the T word. Okay, but they didn't have anything. They just talk, and maybe in their Facebook, their Instagram about against the regime, against of the orange buffoon. But it's possible that they don't let me in, so I just not going to travel internationally at this time, and I just don't have the financial time, the financial means right now to do it. But definitely please leave me a comment below about what do you think about this, and please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow, and it helps other people to find my content and my video. Thank you.